Hey, welcome to Vlogmas Day 18, Discoveries with D. We're going to talk about, and just like that, the Sex and the City reboot. Now, reason I'm doing this now is because we just we switched over to HBO Max, so I never did get to see it. So it's 3 seasons, did not get renewed for a 4th, and I'm so glad it didn't. You know, I was a big fan of Sex and the City, the original. I mean, it's a little bit, not for the faint of heart. I mean, there's a lot of sex in it, which, they're single gals at the time, and I totally understood that. And just like that, I just didn't get a lot of it. And we're going to discuss it. And you could agree or disagree with me. That's totally up to you. But I'm saying why I didn't like it and what it didn't connect with me. And so we start off the very first episode. We see Carrie and Big. Now, they're post-COVID, so they're living a different type of lifestyle. Okay, I get that. And Carrie and Big, they're happy. And they're, it's really cute to see them happy together. We waited how many years for that? A lot. A year and a movie. And then he has a heart attack and he dies. I know. I don't know if that was planned from the beginning to kill him off, to make Carrie single again, so the show Sex and the City and just like that would be more acceptable. I don't know. I know there was some controversy with him when some things, which, I'm not here to talk about that. I don't know if that's why he left or he was planned to be killed off. I'm assuming he was planned to be killed off from day one because it was the first episode. And it was just tragic to see. But he lived long enough to her to come home and find him, and he dies in her arms. Like, so Romeo and Juliet. Was that the ending we wanted? I don't know. It's just sad. It was just sad. And then we have all new characters added. Well, remember, Samantha, Kim Cattrall, the actress, did not want to participate. Apparently, she didn't get along with the cast, or we're not here to discuss that either. Apparently, there was a lot of bickering going on between them. I don't know. We never saw it in the show, but apparently, so she refused to come back, or didn't want to, and I think, personally, it was a loss. I do, and I'll explain a little bit about that later, but they added some new characters. I wasn't thrilled with them, and I feel like they added the Lisa Todd Wexler and her family, her husband and her 3 kids. They added, God, what was her name? Seema. It came up. I should have wrote that down. Seema. She was Carrie's real estate agent. And they added Naya, which was Miranda's new professor, because now Miranda wanted to go into more law that was to help people, not be the corporate lawyer, which was interesting because she hardly ever worked. I'm like, well, how is everybody surviving? How was she able to afford any of these things? Because she was always she was living hand to mouth. So I didn't understand how she was able to go back to school. She didn't work, that we saw, yet she was able to do all these fun things. And I don't know. That didn't make sense to me. But I felt like they had the African-American family, the Indian, and another African-American friend. I just felt like it was like you go from white toast to white. You go from one extreme to the other. Then being this all-white cast, and now we have this. It's like they feel like they tried to fix too many things at once. And then we have Che, the non-binary character. And then I think the guy she worked with was sort of, I'm not sure what way he swung. I don't know. He seemed a bit bi. I don't know, though. But, and I love Sarah Ramirez. But the Che character, but I didn't get her relationship with Miranda. I didn't. Now, if it had just been like Miranda had an affair with her, I'd have been fine. But they make Miranda have a relationship with her. And poor Steve. Now, Steve, let's just talk about the way they made Steve in the first season was like this old stooge. I was like watching him. He's like, he can't hear. He can barely walk. I'm going, but he did, if you notice in the later seasons, all of a sudden he's opening up a new place. He's dating. He seems more like the old Steve we remember. But I swear in the first episode, it was almost like we were made to feel sorry for Miranda because, oh my God, she's married to this dilapidated old guy that's falling apart, and he really wasn't. So I didn't like the way they treated the Steve character. Now back to Miranda and Che. Now, like I said, I get the affair. almost would understand it. But now they made Miranda decide that she wants to leave her husband and her family to be with Che because she's just not happy. Again, Miranda's not happy. Is Miranda ever happy? No, she never was. She was she's the character I like least on the show. I always have, and I always will. I just don't connect with that character. Charlotte's annoying, but Miranda I just don't like. I like Samantha. We'll get to that. But all of a sudden, then she breaks up with Che because we knew that wasn't going to work out. And all of a sudden, she's a lesbian. Now, I don't have a problem with her being a lesbian, but do you remember, let's rewind, back to like season 1 or 2, when her boss, the firm, invited her over for dinner and they wanted to fix her up because they thought she was a lesbian based on the way she dressed and her hair. And she went along with it because she was invited to things and she felt accepted by the male firm. And then with the girl, I can't remember what her name was, but y'all remember that episode. And she's like, well, I'm going to go through this because, then she kissed her and she went, yeah, no, not gay. So all of a sudden, okay, there you're not gay, but, 20 years later, you decide you're gay. See, I would have rather her just had the affair. I'd been fine with that. But to all of a sudden make her like, now she's gay, I don't know. I just didn't buy it. And I did not like, the whole Lisa, Todd Wexler, every time their family came on, I just tuned it out. I wasn't interested. I wasn't interested in meeting new people because let's face it, through the whole cups of the first, 7 or 8 seasons of the original show, you brought in bibs and blabs of people. They were never in every episode. Like Bunny, and things like that. But they had them in. And I'm like, they're trying to make up for the lack of Kim Cattrall and Samantha character. I wasn't into it. I wasn't into that whole, I don't know. I just, the show is not about it's their friendship, not their extended friendships. That's what it is. I wasn't interested in their extended friendships. I was just interested in their own friendships. So I didn't really care for the others. I didn't think it added anything. Then you have Stanford and Anthony. Now, I know the actor who plays Stanford, he passed away. So instead of saying he passed away, they had him all of a sudden change and move to Japan with, a client. Again, that would not have been Stanny. They were too afraid to deal with another death because they killed off the big character? I don't know. I feel like he would have never left. He would have never left. Carrie was his bestie, ride or die. He would have never left. He wouldn't have. He divorced Anthony before he left her. But that I didn't understand. Why not kill him off? It made no sense. It really didn't. So I didn't really care for the way they took care of that. I'm like, because I was wondering what happened to him, and I Googled, I'm like, oh my God, he passed away. It's so sad. In the filming of season 1, I think he had some sort of cancer. It was sad. But yeah, I don't know. And Naya, Miranda's professor. We saw her in season 1 and 2, and then season 3. I know she got the promotion, but it didn't say like she was leaving, but we never heard hide nor hair of her again. Not even a phone call. Hey, Naya, what's going on? Nothing. So, let me see. I think I covered that. No. All right. Carrie and Aiden. Must we have gone through that again? I love the fact that she moved. I felt like I get her leaving the other apartment. It was too hard for her. I get that. But to go back to the original, it's really a small little place. And apparently she's loaded. So yes, I think she definitely needed to move to that nicer apartment. But again, we're bringing Aiden back again. Oh my gosh, I didn't like when she got back with him the second time. And I'm starting to like it the third time. Oh my God. So now they broke up 3 times. They can, and then what really was the icing on the cake, at least for me, was when she said to probably Miranda that, she feels right with Aiden. Marrying Big was a mistake. I went, are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? No, we spent all those years pining for those 2. No, it wasn't a mistake. Why, because he's dead now? You could sit there and say that? He was still alive, you still be married to him. I didn't like that she said that. I'm like, no girl second guesses her choices. I didn't like it. I went, oh. And all Aiden's drama, like, oh God, why would you, that poor guy, he had a lot going on. Then he sleeps with his ex-wife, and she's okay with it. I'm shocked at that. Yet he's still okay with thinking she's going to be sleeping with the guy downstairs. Again, Aiden he's always had trust issues. He's always been a little bit like domineering with her. I've noticed. That's why I never cared for him and her. I am team Big. Was never team Aiden. Never. I love John Corbett, but I am not team Aiden. I've always been team Big. But for her to say, oh, it was a mistake, I was like, no, she didn't just say that. She didn't just say that. She did. I love that when they had the ashes scene. I thought that was really poignant. I don't know. I thought that was really nice. Our bridge. I loved everything about it. Now, the friendships. Now, why I think Samantha was missed is because, in my opinion, I felt her and Carrie had the best friendship. She was her most self with Samantha. That's why she never tells Charlotte things. She never tells Miranda things, because she doesn't have that, whatever I do, you're going to accept me relationship. Like when Big Ashes came, she didn't invite Charlotte because she didn't want to deal with her. And things she doesn't tell Miranda. And when her and Miranda have a fight, it's always hurtful. It's always like hurtful. And don't say because they're best friends, because I feel that they're not. I don't. I feel like her best relationship was with, Sanford was a good one too, but it was Samantha. Samantha knew about the affair with Big when none of those other girls did. She couldn't tell them. Why? Because she knew they wouldn't accept it, where Samantha didn't judge her. And then one time she did judge her, they addressed it. And it was like, yeah, I just missed, Samantha was missed. And when they had that phone call, that was great. I get it. I get why you don't need to have to come back. And I was not a fan of the Anthony's Bakery with those guys in those little outfits. Like, really? Would you really have them dressed like that? I don't think I'd want to buy their bread. I'm all about a nice tight outfit, but I think that was just like the onesie they called it. I didn't care for that either. I thought you could have been sexier than it had to be a onesie. But yes, Samantha and her, I think, were the besties. And like I said, she was able to be herself and tell her anything and never had, the Miranda relationship. Now, when they were arguing, I'm like, of course they're arguing. Of course, because they just really aren't besties. They're not. And she can't be besties with Charlotte because Charlotte's just out in left field. She just, she's Pollyanna. And again, the Charlotte's daughter, didn't identify as, so I'm like, I get that, but when you have all these other things going on and you're throwing that in there, I just feel it was too much. My gosh. But they were very accepting parents, and that was nice. Like, they had no problem accepting her, which I thought was really good. There was no, you could see, Charlotte kind of yearned to see when she was in that play, to see her dress up as a girl. But it was great that they were just accepting parents and they moved on, which was good. They didn't drag that out like, oh my God. And then all of a sudden they're fine. Yeah, don't drag that out. It was nice that they accepted her and everything. And of course, Lily. And, Lily's sex life and Brady's sex life. Now, in I think the first 2 episodes, they're showing Miranda and Steve, and they know their son's in the next room having sex. I don't need to know. I would never in my life have my boys, and I have 20-year-old boys, next door banging against the wall and leave them. No! If you want to do that, you don't do it here, so I know about it. I thought that was like, are you kidding me? They're just, and then Lily's losing her, and they're just okay with it. Like I said, because there's just things you think, they have a nice open relationship. There's just things you don't need to know about your kids. I never told my mother, they don't need to know any of that stuff. And they don't need to hear it. And I'm like going, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And then he winds up getting some strange girl pregnant. That didn't make any sense at all. But yeah, the Goldenblatts. Lily was a piece of work, but boy, could she play the piano. But I thought when he said he got somebody pregnant, I thought it was Lily. Now that I might have enjoyed. I would have. I think that would have been fun. But, that's just my take. That's my opinion. Again, I really feel like it's the Samantha thing. If you don't get them all together, that's what made it good. The 4 of them, not the 3 of them, the 4 of them. It was the dynamic that she could have, I felt like the Carrie character was probably the most authentic of being Carrie. And the other 2 just were like, I didn't get Miranda at all. I did not get her at one bit. I don't know how she afforded her apartment. I'm like, when are you working? And if you're one of those public defenders, you don't make a lot of money. So I'm really not quite sure where all that went, where she all of a sudden she was going to get an apartment. And then one point when the kid was moving back in, Brady, because he didn't want to live with Steve, because Steve flipped out, they said, oh, I have to be a mom. Like, I'm like, going, we all think these things, but we never voice them out loud. Sometimes you'd be like, but the fact that she said it, it's kind of like as bad as Carrie saying, I made a mistake with Big. I thought when that came out of her mouth, I'm like, no, you didn't just say that. I love the fact she got a pet. And I'm so glad she didn't go back to the other apartment, because this part of her life, this is where she needs to be. And who didn't love her little relationship with the guy on the bottom floor? I liked her writing, but it's a shame, I think she was going to put out that he didn't come back. But then again, we would, if we had a season 4, he might have. We don't know. I just hope to God if they ever go back and do a reboot or like a movie or an episode, that we don't have Aiden back. No, and no. I kept thinking to myself, oh God, really? We're going back there? We're going back there. It was bad when it was. It didn't get any better with time. Not Team Aiden. I would have rather seen her with somebody new. I would have. All right, well, that's my thoughts. And just like that. That's it. Just like that, that's what I always felt. Didn't care for the new characters. To me, that wasn't Sex and the City. They weren't there. And if they would have came and went, that would have been fine. The fact that they stayed, I just wasn't into them. And for no particular reason, because it's all about the relationship of the women. It's all about them and what they share and what they go through. We don't need we just don't. We need Samantha. We did. That's what I missed. So that is it. Let me know what you think. Like maybe you loved it. And hey, you can. Like I said, it's just my opinion. You guys, we all like what we like. And we all get what we get. But let me know in the comment section below if you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up. If you are new here because of this topic, hit that subscribe button. You don't know what's going to pop up. We're doing Vlogmas, and who knows what kind of stuff comes out. Today, it's just about a review of And Just Like That. Y'all gave me some fun things to watch on HBO Max, so I'm excited. So, all right, my lovelies, I will see you in Vlogmas Day. Yes, it's 19 tomorrow. Holy moly, 19. We're doing it. Later, Gators.